I'd like to introduce myself. I'm Pat Burnell, and I'm the principal at Garfield Elementary. Mrs. Barr is our assistant principal elementary supervisor. She's waving from the back. She is my right-hand person. And I'd like you to give a nice round of applause to Arlington Akers, who played the background music as you were coming in. Thank you. Today we have an exciting program for you. Our first graders are going to be putting on a Mother Goose Theater, and I have some people that I want to thank for putting this program together. Our music teacher, Mrs. Bykonen, as well as all of our first grade teachers, Mrs. Schrader, Miss Page, Mrs. Jones, and Mrs. Slingerland, and Mrs. Adair's class. And also our art teacher was involved by helping with the costumes. You will see cats and dogs and little pigs, all with their headdresses on today. But before we start our program, I want to give you a little background about Garfield. I want to take a poll first. How many of you attended Garfield? We have a few. We won't tell everybody that Garfield's been here for 75 years, will we? As you walk through the building, you see that things have probably changed. We have more classrooms, we have computer labs, we have a new library, all sorts of exciting things happening here at Garfield. Our enrollment presently is 548 students, starting with our 4-year-old program all the way up to 5th grade. We offer a variety of programs for our boys and girls, from remedial programs to enrichment programs such as Great Books, Odyssey of the Mind. We have a chess club. And all of these things are possible because we have wonderful parent volunteers here that help out. So that's a little background on Garfield. I'm going to introduce to you our superintendent of schools, Mr. William Kimball, who will greet you and welcome you to Garfield also. Thank you.
Good morning. Grandparents' Day is my absolute favorite activity in the school district, and Garfield's one of just a few schools that does this, and I certainly give Mrs. Burnell a pat on the back and the teachers for encouraging you to come in and see what your grandchildren are doing, to spend a morning with them and learn about the school. We're real pleased to have you here. This is one group that I am anxiously trying to join. And, so far, neither one of my kids are cooperating, and my wife keeps talking to them, but right now neither one of them are married, so we got a couple steps to go through first. But you know, I did learn some good news about the schools over the last couple of days, and I'm going to share it just briefly with you. Our legislators have really been working hard for Port Huron because we're in a little different category than some other school districts in terms of our revenue sources. And I learned from Senator DeGrow as well as from Representative Hager that we are going to be getting some additional funds for the schools next year, in the next 3 years, which is really very helpful to us. Secondly, I learned that there's a very good likelihood that we're going to get some additional funds for after school and possibly summer programming, which I heard Mrs. Burnell talking about some of the things we do for the kids in the fine arts, after school and so on. I think there's a good chance in our school district through some federal money that Senator DeGrow is helping us get, that we may see those kind of programs expanded. So maybe at some point you'll not only be able to come and see the programs during the day, but the after school and child care programs for the kids as we become even more of a full-service school. So with that, I'd like to welcome you here. I'm glad you're here with us. I hope you have a nice day. I'm sure you will. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Kimball. And now, what you really wanted to see are the little children performing Mother Goose Theater. So we'll have the students come in. They're under the direction of Mrs. Bykonen and their first grade teachers.
Okay, everybody ready? Okay. Once upon a time, In a place called Mother Goose Land, there lived a dog and a pig. One day, Dog ate a mop. When Pig saw such a sight, he flew through the air until being stopped by a man dressed in brown. Dog ran to where Pig had landed with the help of the man in brown, and they found that Pig had landed in a farm field in a small valley or dell. They looked around and saw the farmer, his wife, and other folks running around with mice, dogs, and a cheese. It was truly the most amazing sight they had ever seen.
The wife takes the child,
The pig and the dog left the farm, shaking their heads at these strange goings-on. They soon chanced upon a boy and a girl carrying a water pail. "Where are you going?" asked Pig. "We're going up the hill to fetch a pail of water," they replied. As the pig and the dog watched Jack and Jill tumbling down the hill, their pail of water rolling and splashing behind them, Pig said to Dog, "We must help them." "Yes," said Dog, "they may be hurt." But fortunately, Jack and Jill had not hurt themselves, but got up from the ground, brushed themselves off, and started right back up the hill again. Dog said to Pig, "I think it's time to go home. So many strange things have happened today." "Yes," said Pig, "I think the way home is across that bridge." "Goodbye, Jack. Goodbye, Jill," the two called to the small figures in the distance, and the two animal friends crossed the bridge to go home.
Thank you for coming to our program today, and I think Mrs. Burnell is going to come back up and say a few closing remarks.
Thank you, boys and girls. You did a wonderful job. And you know, nursery rhymes and fairy tales never change over all the years. I'm sure we can all relate to the stories that they were sharing with us today. You did a beautiful job. Let's give them a round of applause. And thank you, teachers, Mrs. Bikonen, for putting this together for us. We truly enjoyed it. Before we send you out into the classrooms to see what's going on out there, you all received a program this morning, and if you have a little green gator that says Gatorific in the corner, there should be 12 of them out there. Help yourself to a chrysanthemum plant from the table, a little door prize from Garfield School. We thank you for coming. Help yourself to the refreshments. There will be people in the hallways directing you to your grandchildren's classrooms. As long as you know their name, we can point you to the right room and the right teacher. So welcome again. Thank you for taking time to share with us. We enjoy having you. Enjoy the rest of your morning. Thank you. If you want to take pictures, help yourself. Can I give them a minute for pictures? Okay. That was great.